Hi, this is Miss Marion. We are going over Unit 4, Lesson 8. Go ahead and turn to page 129 or 94, depending on what format you have. Go ahead and read the I can statement for Lesson 8. I can solve equations with different numbers of solutions. Go ahead and write a sentence on how you feel. And then also number 1, I don't remember. 2, I kind of got it. 3, I did get it. And then 4, I can teach it to my friend. So today's goals from the I can statement is we can describe orally linear equations as having one solution, no solution, or infinite number of solutions. We can solve equations in one variable with one solution. We can also describe the features of a linear equations with one solution, no solution, and infinite number of solutions. So yesterday we kind of talked about this. Today we're going to talk about it again to make sure we understand and know what all of those mean. All right, go ahead and turn to page 55 or 40. It should look something like this. It says, consider the unfinished equation 12 multiplied by x minus 3 plus 18 equals blank, okay? And then match the following expressions with the number of solutions equations would have with the expression on the right-hand side. So you're trying to make a one solution, you're trying to do a no solution, and then also all solutions. So a one solution is something like, as an example, like x equals 2. That is one solution. There's only one solution that will make that equation on both sides true. Remember, no solution, this was true for no values. And then all solutions was true for all values. And so remember, when we were doing it yesterday, the true for no values, that made it so that we had an equation. There was nothing we could put in there. We had the same variable on both sides of the equation, but the numbers were different. It didn't work. True for all values, remember the equation was exactly the same. We both had the same variables on both sides. So we had like 6x on one side, 6x on the other. We had plus 2, we had plus 2. The equation was exactly the same, so that made it true for all values. Or we can put anything into that and both sides will always be equal. So remember what we did yesterday, remember what that is. Go ahead and pause right now and figure out which ones will go with which. All right, now since you've done it, what I like to go ahead and do is I'm gonna go ahead and multiply in my 12. So 12 times x is 12x. 12 times, and I think of it as negative 3. So if we took our calculator and we did, okay, we're doing 12 times negative 3, that's negative 36. And then plus 18, and then equals, and again, we still have that blank. And then what I like to do is I like to kind of simplify this as much as possible. And so we're going to still have 12x, we're going to do 36. So we're going to combine terms on the same side. So we have 12x, negative 36 plus 18 is negative 18, and then equals the blank. So again, if we're looking at the different things, so let's look at as far as a one solution. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take A, B, and C, and I'm going to multiply in these numbers because it's going to help us a little bit further. So we're going to do 6 times 2 is 12x. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. And then I'm going to change my color. And then we're going to do 4 times 2, or sorry, 4 times 3x is 12x. And then 4 times, and again, negative 3 is negative 12. And then let's do the last one. Let's do 4 times 2 is 8x. And then 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Okay, so we have all these different things, and then we're going to go ahead and try to match it up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the true for all solutions. Okay, I like to kind of just start with that one first, and the reason why is because I know both sides need a match. So from above up here, okay, this is where I'm kind of taking it. This is what we're working with. I have the 12x minus 18 equals blank. Okay, and again, remember, true for all values, that means both sides are going to be exactly the same. Okay, so what can I put in there? Let's look at it. Well, A has 12x minus 18. Over here, it has 12x minus 18. So if I stick 12x minus 18 on both sides, right? And where did I get that from? I got that from the 6 multiplied by 2x minus 3. So A should go with number 3. Now let's look at true for no values or no solution. So again, from what we did above, we had the 12x minus 18 equals blank. And remember, when we had it with no solution, I still have to have the same variable. That means I still need a 12x, but the number is going to be different. So I've already done A. Now we look at B and C. Well, B has that 12x minus 12. And so if I put that in there, again, the variable are exactly the same, but the number is different. So how did we get that? We got that from the 4 multiplied by 3x minus 3. So this one is B. And so again, remember, with the true for no values, the variables have to be the same, but then the numbers are different. And then what leaves it for true for one solution? Well, from above, again, we have the 12x minus 18 equals, and then blank. What was that extra blank kind of stuff? Well, that was the 8x minus 12. And where did we get that? From the 4 multiplied by 2x minus 3, and that is letter C. Hopefully this makes sense. If you need to go ahead and pause it and go back through again. But remember, if we look at those, so if it's all solution is variables are exactly the same, and then the numbers are exactly the same on both sides. True for no values or no solution, variables are the same on both sides, but the numbers are different. And then true for one solution, notice how the variables are different on both sides, and then the numbers can be anything, but make sure that we understand that these variables on both sides of the equation need to be different, so then we can go ahead and solve it and solve for x. All right, go ahead and turn to page 56 or 40. It should look something like this. There's actually a lot more questions on it, but we're going to just approach it one at a time. It says, for each question, determine whether it has no solution, exactly one solution, or is true for all values, or has infinite many solutions. If the equation has one solution, solve to find the value of x that makes the statement true. Okay, so remember what those things entail, and what I want you to do is go through number 1, A, B, and C. Go ahead and pause, answer that, no solution, one solution, infinite many solutions, and solve for the one solution, and then come back, and we'll actually go ahead and go through it. All right, so let's go ahead and let's go through this. So if we look at this one, we have 6x plus 8 equals 7x plus 13. So because the 7x is different than the 6 one, this is actually going to be one solution. And let's go ahead and let's solve that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all the variables on the left-hand side. So this is positive x. So, positive 7x. So I'm going to put a negative 7x or subtract off 7x. 6 minus 7x is negative 1x plus 8, and then equals 13. And then again, we're going to do PEMDAS backwards. I see addition. So then I'm going to subtract the 8 to be over here with the 13. And then, so we're going to say 13 minus 8, and that is 5. So we still have negative 1x, positive and negative 8. They are zeros, fall off my board. We're going to have 5. And then negative 1 is timesing x. So then we are going to divide by negative 1. Positive and negative 1 division leaves x by itself. 5 divided by negative 1 is negative 5. So this is a one solution, x equals negative 5. If I put that into the top equation on both sides, it's going to make both sides equal, and it's going to make it true. Let's look at B. B, what we're going to do is we're going to multiply in the 2. So 2 times 3x is 6x. 2 times 4 is 8. And then we still have the other side we didn't do anything with. So notice how we have 6x and 6x. Okay, both sides are equal as far as the variables. and then we have 8, and then we have 8. So if we look at it, we have 6x plus 8 on one side, we have 6x plus 8 on the other. The answer for this one is true for all values. This is also known as infinite many solutions, meaning that I can take any x and put it into both sides of the equation, and it will always equal true. It will always equal both sides. Then let's look at the last one. Last one, we have 6x. We have 6x, awesome. Then notice how we have 8 on one side and 13 on the other. So because we have the same variable on both sides, but the numbers are different, this one is going to be true for no values. It's also known as no solution. There is no number that I can put in for the x's to make both sides equal. So this is not going to be work, and this is not going to work with it. And so so 1 is one solution, x equals 5. Sorry, A is one solution, x equals 5. B is true for all values or infinite many solutions. And then C is true for no values or no solution. All right, here is number 2, same thing. Go ahead and figure out which one is no solution. Exactly one solution, solve for it, and then true for all values or infinite many solutions. So go ahead and pause right now and then come back to me. All right, now since you've done it, let's go ahead and go through it ourselves. So on A, let's multiply in our 1/4. Grab your calculator. Let's do 1/4 times 12. That is 3. And then we're going to do 1/4 multiplied by -4. So 1/4 times -4. That is -1x. And then the same. The other side is the same. Well, is the same as what it was before. Okay, so let's look at it. So we have a -1x on this side. Technically, mathematicians don't write down ones, right? So how many x's do I have there? I have 1. So this is actually considered -1x. I have 3 and 3. So both sides are equal to each other. So this is true for all values. Okay. All right, now let's look at B. So B, let's look at what we have. So how many x's do I have here? I have 1, so that is 1x. And then we have technically -3. And then on the other side, this 3 right here, well, that is a +3. And then how many x's do I have? I have 1x. So if we're looking at it, my numbers, so I have 1x, -1x, I have -3, and then +3. So notice how my variables are not the same. They're not the same at all. Yes, they're both 1s, but one of them, the one on the left-hand side, this is a +1x. The one over here is a -1x. So this one is actually going to be considered a 1 solution. If I solve it, let's move all the variables onto the left-hand side. So +1x plus 1x. 1x plus 1x is 2x. We have -3, and then we have 3. I see subtract, so I'm going to add. So I'm going to add 3. Okay, let's move everything over here. I need more room. So I have 2x, positive and -3s. They make a 0, they go away. 3 plus 3 is 6. Then 2 is multiplying by x, so then we are going to divide. 2 divided by 2 leaves x by itself. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So this is actually 1 solution. And how did we know that? The reason why is because this is a +1x, this is a -1x, the x's are different. All right, let's go ahead and look at the last one. So if we look at it, here I have an x. How many x's are there? Well, that's 1, okay? and then I have a -3. Then on the other side, I have +3, and then this is, how many x's are there? There is 1. So looking at both sides, so looking at, I have a +1x, I have a +1x. Awesome. So the variables are exactly the same. I have a -3, but then I have, this is a +3. So are these exactly the same on both sides? No. So because the variables are exactly the same, but the numbers are different, this is no solution. We also know it as true for no values, meaning that there's nothing that I can put in on either side of the equation. So there's not an x I can put on both sides of the equation that will make both sides equal. All right, here is number 3. Same thing. Let's go ahead and figure out which one has no solution, exactly one solution, or true for all values. So go ahead and pause, work through that, and then come back to me. All right, so let's go ahead and look at A. Let's start combining terms that are the same on the same side. So we have -5x minus 3x. So -5 minus 3 is -8x. We still have the +2 equals, and then the right-hand side is the same as what it was before. Now let's go ahead and let's look at it. So I have -8x, -8x. Awesome. Variables are the same on both sides. What about the numbers? I have 2, +2. So both sides are exactly the same. So this one is going to be true for all values. All right, let's look at the next one. Same thing. Let's go ahead and look at B. Let's go ahead and combine things, variables on the same side. So -5 minus 3x, so that is -8x minus 4. And then right-hand side, we didn't do anything with it. Let's go ahead and look at them. So I have -8x, -8x. Awesome. The variables are the same on both sides. Let's look at the numbers. -4, +2. Those numbers are not the same. So what is the answer for this one? It is going to be no solution. Or remember, it's true for no values. All right, let's look at C. Let's combine those together. So -5x minus 4x, and I'm going to put stuff up here because I need more room. Actually, I'm going to move that over. Good. Let's put it up here. So -5 minus 4, -5 minus 4 is -9x. Still have -2 equals, and then we have -x plus 2. Let's look at them. So I have -9x, I have -8x. Those variables are not the same. So this is going to make it so that it's going to be true for one value. We can solve it. Let's go ahead and let's put all the variables on the left-hand side. So we're going to move that -8x. So we're going to add 8x both sides. -9 plus 8 is -1x minus 2. Positive and -8s, they are zeros, falls off my board. And then we still have that +2. I see that we are subtracting, so we're going to do the opposite. We're going to add 2 to both sides. So we have -1x, positive and -2s make it 0. 2 plus 2 is 4. -1x and 4, they are multiplying, so we're going to divide by -1. -1 divided by -1 makes a 1. It leaves x by itself. 4 divided by -1 is -4. So the answer for C is one solution. And that one solution that makes both sides true is x equals -4. All right, here's number 4. Same thing, a little bit more complicated, but we're still going to go ahead and do the same thing. Figure out where it's no solution, exactly one solution, or true for all values. All right, let's go ahead and let's do it together. So first of all, we want to go ahead and we want to simplify the equations as much as possible. So 4 times 2x is 8x minus 4 times 2 is 8 and then we still have plus 2 equals 4 times x is 4x, and then 4 times 2, so it's minus, and then 8. So let's go ahead and let's simplify even further. So we're going to do negative 8 plus 2. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6 equals 4x and then minus 8. So what we kind of learned from yesterday is we're going to go ahead, notice how we have 8x here and then 4x here. For something to be the no solution or true for no values, or infinite many solutions or true for all values, remember that the x's have to be exactly the same on both sides. So this one is going to be one solution. So let's go ahead, let's keep on solving it. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to put all of my x's on the left-hand side. So this is a positive 4x. We're going to subtract off 4x. So 8 minus 4 is 4. Still have negative 6 or minus 6, and then we still have the minus 8. I want to take the negative 6. He wants to be on the other side with his friend, the negative 8. So I'm going to add 6 to both sides. So we still have 4x left over. Negative 6, positive 6, that makes it 0. Negative 8 plus 6 is negative 2. And then we are going to divide by 4 because 4 and x are multiplying. So we have negative 2 over 4. This is actually a fraction. Let's reduce it as much as possible. It's going to be negative 1/2. So this is our one solution, and it will be x equals negative 1/2. Let's go ahead and let's do the b. So b, we're going to multiply, so we're going to have 4x. We're going to do 2 times 2x is 4x. And then minus 2 times 3, which is 6. 8 times x is 8x. Minus 8 times 1 is 8. 4x plus 4x is 8x. Minus 6. Then we have 8x minus 8. So go ahead and notice how we have 8x on one side, 8x on the other, but we have negative 6 and negative 8. So the numbers, so the variables are exactly the same. The numbers are not. So when this happens, this is no solution. Or as we kind of talked about it yesterday, true for no values. Let's go ahead and let's do C. So we have, and I'm going to kind of put it up top because I ran out of room. So we still have 4x, and then plus 2 times 2 is 4x, minus 2 times 3 is 6, and then equals 4 times 2 is 8x, minus 4 times 2 is 8, and we're going to do plus 2. Let's go ahead and combine things on either side. 4x plus 4x is 8x minus 6, and then we're going to do negative 8 and 2, so we have 8x minus 6. Notice how the 8x's are exactly the same, the negative 6's are exactly the same. So this answer is going to be infinite many solutions, or as we did yesterday, true for all values. All right, number 5. Go ahead and answer these. Figure out if it has no solution, exactly one solution, or true for all values, or infinite many solutions. If it has one solution, go ahead and figure out what that one solution is. And then, so go ahead and pause, do that, and then come back to me. All right, let's go ahead and let's solve these. Let's look at A. So we're going to look at it as negative 3 being multiplied in. So we still have our x. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6, minus negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x, minus a negative we know as it being plus. 2 times 5x is 10x, plus 2 times 3 is 6. Let's go ahead, let's combine like terms. So we're going to have 9x and x. Remember that is 1x. 1x plus 9x is 10x minus 6. Right-hand side, exactly the same, 10x plus 6. And let's compare it. So I have 10x and 10x. That's awesome, great. I have negative 6 and positive 6. Negative 6 and positive 6, they are different. So the answer for this is going to be no solution, or true for no values. Let's go ahead and do B. So again, we have x. We're going to take negative 3 times 2 is negative 6 plus negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x equals 2 times 5, which is 10x, minus 2 times 3, which is 6. Let's go ahead, let's combine our variables together. So I have 1x and I have negative 9x. If I combine those together, I'm going to have negative 8x and then still the minus 6. I'm going to have 10x minus 6. Let's compare it. So we have negative 8x, positive 10x. Because the variables are not the same, this is going to be one solution. And let's figure out what that one solution is going to be. Let's solve it. I want my 10x to be on the left-hand side. He's a positive 10x. How do I do that? I'm going to subtract off 10x. Negative 8 minus 10, so both negatives, combine them together. We have negative 18x minus 6 equals negative 6. Negative 6 on the left-hand side wants to be with a friend on the right-hand side. We're going to add 6 to both sides. We still have negative 18x. Positive and negative 6's go away. Negative 6 plus 6, well, that's 0. We still want x by himself, so we're going to divide by negative 18. So our x, so 0 divided by negative 18, put that in your calculator. That is going to be 0. All right, last one, and I kind of ran out of room again, so I'm going to have to put up on the top. So this x, we do nothing with it, so we're going to put C up here. Then we are going to take negative 3 times 2 is negative 6 minus negative 3 times 3x. So negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x. 2 times 5, x is 10x, minus 2 times 3, which is 6. Let's combine like terms on both sides. So I have 1x minus a negative 9x is actually adding. So 1x plus 9x is 10x. We still have our subtract 6. Right-hand side is the same thing there. Let's go ahead and combine those, or actually compare those. We have 10x, 10x, awesome. Negative 6, negative 6, awesome. So this one is going to be either true for all values or infinite, many solutions. All right, let's look at number 6 on the same page. Number 6 says, what do you notice about the equation with one solution? How is this different from equations with no solution and equations that are true for every value or true or infinite many solutions? Go ahead and answer that and then come back to me. All right, so equations that have one solution. So the variables are different on both sides. So as an example, we can have 3x plus 2 equals 2x minus 4. So notice how the 3x and the 2x are not exactly the same. This would be a one solution. So for no solution, we're going to have it as the variables are the same on both sides, but the numbers are different. So as an example, we can have 10x minus 6 equals 10x and then like plus 2. And then for infinite many solutions or true for all values, variables are the same. On both sides. Numbers are the same. So as an example for this, we can have 10x plus 6 equals 10x plus 6. And remember, true for all values is the same as infinite many solutions. So remember that we can have 3 different types of answers for equations. We can have it where it's one solution. So let's do it in order. So we have no solution. Remember, that's where the variables are the same, but the numbers are different. So variables are the same on both sides. Numbers are different on both sides. Infinite many solutions is where the variables are the same. The numbers are exactly the same. So both sides are exactly the same. And then where one solution is where the variables are different on both sides. And then the numbers can either be the same or they can be different on both sides. So on page 58 or 42, there's an area for vocabulary. It says constant term. In an expression like 5x plus 2, the number 2 is called the constant term because it does not change when x changes. So it's always going to be the same. Go ahead and write down this definition on page 58 or 42 for the vocabulary glossary terms. Go ahead and write this down because we're going to be using it a little bit later. So go ahead and pause, write it down, and then come back to me. Awesome, so you have it written down. So make sure you have that written down and understand it. So this is our lesson for today. We're talking about no solution, infinite many solutions, and one solution. Go back to page 129 or 94, whichever format you have. I can solve equations with different numbers of solutions. That was our I can statement. Go ahead and write a sentence on how you feel about today. Give yourself a number where 1, I'm still confused. 2, I kind of got it. 3, I did get it. And then 4, I can teach it to my friend. So we're doing all practice problems. They are in Canvas. If you have any questions, you may go ahead and email me through Canvas about any of this. And then if you do need to go ahead and rewind it and listen to it again, please do, and make sure you understand everything for this.